let's watch this incredible Tucker Carlson video I've been meaning to watch. Tucker Carlson going mask off again. What else is new?
It just seems like people coming in and wrecking everything that was valuable in an institution that they never built themselves.
It's very reckless and destructive. It's very vindictive. It's very angry. I think there is just a tremendous amount of resentment and shame of non-Western peoples against Western peoples for Western peoples' outsized achievements and contributions. I mean, it's really unbearable. You know, leaving aside American blacks, who I think do feel that resentment and shame and envy. I mean, it's this unholy brew of sentiments. I was talking to Glenn Lowry about this bizarre fact that Asian and South Asian, Indian doctors at Penn Med, that they're on the ramparts for the anti-racism initiative for Dump on America. America's an evil, racist place. These are immigrants.
The #1 highest income group in America is
hate America. And you see these brown faces, or you see these Asian faces, and you think, so you're coming from your country, which you're implying is equal or better than our country.
Literally.
And you're telling us how awful we are.
China's an ethno-state, by the way, which no one ever says. It's about the Han Chinese, and if you're not...
Tucker's like, and that's good. China's an ethno-state, by the way, and that's good. I'm asking questions. Why can't we have a similar ethno-state? Reader Wiki, she's Nazi insane. American lawyer, neurologist, academic. She is the Robert Mannheim Professor of Law at the University of Pennsylvania Law School. Wait, what? Bro, she's a UPenn Law School professor? What the fuck? It's pretty awesome because, like, they always fucking say schools, they're so liberal. These universities, they're so liberal. It's like, and then you got a UPenn law professor who's like just straight up talking about how these people are, second-class citizens, even if they're like American citizens in America. They're second-class citizens and therefore should have no say. If their country is so good, why are they here? UA student organizations call on Penn to immediately fire Amy Wax. Penn's undergraduate assembly and 3 other student organizations passed a resolution based on the basis of her repeated promotion of white supremacist ideology. Wax is currently the Robert Mannheim Professor of Law, has faced ongoing criticism for racist remarks in the past several years. In 2018, she was barred from teaching a mandatory first-year course after she falsely alleged that she had never seen a black student graduate in the top quarter of their class at Penn Law. What the fuck? Most recently, Wax sparked national scrutiny for claiming that the United States is better off with fewer Asians and less Asian immigration. Wait, when did she say this? How does she still have a job? Wax, who joined Penn Law in 2001, said in a recent interview with Brown University professor Glenn Lowry, the immigration of Asian elites to the United States is problematic because of their support for the Democratic Party. In 2017, titled Paying the Price for Breakdown of the Country's Bourgeois Culture, she wrote with San Diego law professor Larry Alexander that since the 1950s, the decline of the bourgeois values such as hard work, self-discipline, marriage, and respect for authority had contributed to social ills such as male labor force participation rates that go down to Great Depression era levels, endemic opioid abuse, half of all children being born to single mothers, and many college students lacking basic skills. It's because we left our bourgeois values behind. Which, of course, certainly bourgeois values weren't responsible for things like the Great Depression. If you wanted to revert so far away from any sort of materialist analysis while still using, terminology like this, you could even then make that argument that the bourgeois values is the reason why the Great Depression happened. What the fuck? The author asserted that all cultures are not equal, or at least they are not equal in preparing people to be productive in an advanced economy. She told the Daily Pennsylvania that everyone wants to go to countries ruled by white Europeans because of their superior mores, or maybe because they are the dominant force. So it's a lot nicer when you are able to live in the imperial core rather than remain a victim of imperialist countries destroying you. In the same interview, Wax strongly emphasized that she did not believe in the superiority of one race over another, but was describing the situation in various countries and cultures. Oh, come on. I'm not saying racially it's different. I'm just saying that, it's the culture. In a September 2017 podcast interview with Glenn Lowry, Wax said, take Penn Law School or some top 10 law school. Here's a very inconvenient fact. I don't think I've ever seen a black student graduate in the top quarter of the class, and rarely in the top half. I can think of 1 or 2 students who scored in the top half in my required first-year course. And she said that Penn Law has a racial diversity mandate for its law review. The UPenn Law School Dean Theodore Ruger responded, black students have graduated in the top of the class at Penn Law, and the law review does not have a diversity mandate. Rather, its editors are selected based on a competitive process. In July 2019, at Edmund Burke Foundation's inaugural National Conservatism Conference, Wax said, embracing cultural distance nationalism means, in effect, taking the position that other countries will be better off with more whites and fewer non-whites. Wait, she's Jewish though, right? Yeah, Wax was born and raised with her 2 sisters in a Jewish household. What the fuck? She's just straight up a lawyer. She's just straight up a Nazi. I mean, the very same people that have this exact same fucking argument that she does just basically say that Jews are responsible for this moral decay and moral degeneracy and multiculturalism in America. That's the only thing that she's not saying. You know what I mean? Like all of her fucking allies in this, supposedly moral battle about ensuring the racial purity of the white race in America, they all believe that Jews are responsible. You know, you're not gonna get out of that battle alive at the end. In a March 2018 opinion piece in the Wall Street Journal titled "The University Denial, Aggressive Suppression of the Truth is a Central Feature of American Higher Education," Wax wrote, "The mindset that values openness understands that the truth can be inconvenient and uncomfortable. Hoarding and hiding information relevant to such differences violates basic principle of fair play. Universities, like other institutions, scheme relentlessly to keep such facts from view." My favorite part about conservatives is that, like, she's not only just racist, right? Like, and has, like, Nazi-style opinions, but of course, just like the rest of the Nazi-style opinions, it's just completely wrong. And of course, to triple down on it, it's completely fifis, just based in zero evidence whatsoever. And then on top of that, they act like it's a super secret that, like, no one else wants to discuss. I think she's just trying to get fired to go on her, like, media tour.
You look at the roster of, who's leading the programs, the endless number of programs where they talk about diversity and racism and all the racism that people have to encounter in medicine and how racist medicine is and all this. And you see these brown faces or you see these Asian faces and you think, literally you think, so you're coming from your country, which you're implying is equal or better than our country. And you're telling us how awful we are.
I mean, when did you come from your country to America? You know what I mean? There's no one that Tucker Carlson considers to be a legacy American. Everyone came to America at some point. You can laugh all you want, Tucker, but, like, you don't belong here either. What a fucking ridiculous assertion. Like, makes it even worse by following up or doubling down with the idea that, like, if you're coming from one of these brown countries, like, you're not allowed to have an opinion on what happens in America.
China's an ethno-state, by the way, which no one ever says. It's about the Han Chinese, and if you're not, that's the problem with the Uyghurs. That's their religion. They're not Han Chinese. Whatever. I'm not even judging. I'm just saying. Yeah,
Tucker's like, I'm not even judging. I like it. Tucker's like, we need to Hanify America, with legacy Americans. The Hanification protocols are very good, actually, if I do say so myself. After all, diversity is not their strength. Why should it be ours?
So take, the Brahmin women who come from India and they climb the ladder, they get the best education, we give them every opportunity, and they turn around and lead the charge on we're racist, we're an awful country, we need reform, our medical system needs reform. Well, here's the problem. They're taught that they are better than everybody else because they are Brahmin elites.
This is so wild. Like, first of all, the worst part about this is that, like, she already identifies exactly why, for example, like, Asian immigration, or the way we understand Asians overperforming as the model minority, when we never, like, think about, I don't know, Vietnamese immigrants in that category, and exclusively think about, like, wealthier immigrants that are able to come here, like the children of wealthier immigrants that are able to come here to get a college education, which completely destroys, like, the model minority myth, or why it's not comparable to, for example, black people. She understands, like, part of it, but then turns it into an incredibly racist fucking take.
Some level, their country is a shithole, excuse my language. Okay, it's not providing them with the opportunities that they feel that they deserve, and which in many cases they do deserve. They come here and they see that we have this wonderful developed scientific and medical establishment, which they haven't managed to create.
I hate her. so much, especially because like she thinks she's so right, dude. What the fuck? Oh my God. I have fucking chills right now from how nuclear grade cringe she is. You know she's not alone in her opinions, okay? You know she's been surrounded by other academics who also keep like fucking huffing her farts and telling them they're rosy. Like no one gets to this degree of confidence about like their idiotic and horribly outdated and horribly racist and wrong opinions. I can't just say something is racist and move on. I have to also describe to you why it's wrong, obviously, right? Because there are still people who would be like, why aren't you addressing her arguments instead? Owned. Even if that was the case, that these, shithole countries do not have like the same established science and established scientific and medical systems, okay? Which, especially if you're talking about wealthy Indian people, or if you're talking about wealthy Chinese people, or especially, she mentioned China, that's a whole different ballpark, but, they have that, the exact same systems. Even when certain countries are left behind, it's not a consequence of their culture, it's a consequence of being dominated by us. Being dominated by us for centuries and deliberately being kept behind.
They realize that, we've outgunned and outclassed them in practically every way. And what do they feel? Well, they're a very proud people. They're a shame culture. And they feel anger. They feel envy. They feel shame.
Dude, my favorite thing is whenever people just go down that rabbit hole of like their psychotic ideas, and instead of ever questioning them, because she has like very clearly grounded in her position and will not change it, that she has like secondary assertions that she's launching off of it. Like they're just jealous. Yeah, dude, that's what it is, dude. Yeah, the anger that people might feel towards like an imperial superpower simply is rooted within jealousy. Oh my God, it's just, that's where it comes from. It can never be a legitimate grievance. Yeah, the anger that people feel at America's imperialism, for example, or Western colonialism, which has kept a lot of these countries in worse conditions overall, regardless of wherever they may have been in different parts of history. It's just people like her that manifest or humanize, basically, become a human face for that kind of idiotic Western supremacist attitude that is incredibly frustrating. Like when I see that, I get so mad. And it's not about projection or jealousy. It's that you're disgusting. You're a freak or wrong. You're not only wrong, but you think you're so right in how wrong you are. And not only that, but you've also decided that you're making like secondary and third inferences off of your originally completely incorrect and fundamentally wrong, antiquated attitude.
The role of envy and shame in the way that the third world regards the first world is underestimated.
I think you're exactly right.
Yeah.
I think you're exactly
It's never
right.
talked about.
Yeah, it's never talked about. No one ever says they hate us because they ain't us, No one ever says that. That's not like the most common conservative point. She's such a brave truth teller for just making shit up. Of course, when you ask her why America is in the state that it's in, it's because our workforce has been feminized, okay? Because we've lost our bourgeois culture. I've never actually heard someone promote bourgeois attitudes and bourgeois decadence in a positive light like she has. It's like she's the reverse Marxist, you know what I mean? She looked at it and was like, all that stuff about a bourgeois dictatorship is good, actually.
I feel like asking some of these people, like, why did you leave your country? Why are you here?
Have you asked that?
Well, it would be considered not just a microaggression, Tucker. It would be considered a macroaggression. You don't ask people that sort of thing.
Why don't they ask her why she left her country, huh? What happened there? Why are you in America? It's interesting. I wonder what she would say. Also, she's definitely asked that question. She has.
I think most Americans have complicated feelings about immigration. I'm speaking for myself, but my best friend's an immigrant, godfather my first child.
One of the good ones, though, I suspect, right, Tucker?
Immigrants much more impressive than I am, and I think everyone's for that.
Yeah, the white ones, that have freedom in their heart, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Or ones that understand that there needs to be a WASP nationalist hierarchy in this country. Only then are they allowed. Tucker be like, one of my best friends is an immigrant. Twice removed, actually. An immigrant to Argentina originally by way of his grandparents, and then another immigrant from Argentina to America. I'd go so far as to call Wilhelm a Latin American immigrant. And yet, Americans don't want this kind of Latin American immigration from happening. Just because his last name is Himmler does not change the reality that he loves America and Argentina and also Germany. Not the new Germany. The Germany that was powerful. A Germany from a time when a brave Austrian leader simply wanted to make Germany great again. What's going on? Nobody's talking about this.
You know, you don't show up in someone else's country and like start attacking them, right? I mean, that's just bad manners. Why can't you say that?
That's just bad manners. It's so telling because it's like all they do is badmouth America. All Republicans do is badmouth America. But the way that they badmouth America is the appropriate way to badmouth America. When you say like, America's under attack. The real America is not a diverse one. The real America has racial purity. But their way of attacking America is the appropriate way. So, like, obviously, that's the more American approach. You know, funding the Nicaraguan rebels, overthrowing numerous countries. You know, that stuff is good manners. That's right. A lot of liberals nowadays would go so far as to say that arming Contras is wrong. I thought that brown people also had a right to arm themselves. What's going on? Why are we only allowing the white countries to do genocide? Why can't sometimes brown countries also engage in their very own kind of purges? That's just brown power. What's going on? When they criticize America, they're criticizing America as straying away from its values. But isn't it the point of a democracy to change it when people see fit? Well, yeah, I don't think they like democracy, my friend. Oh, God, she's so fucking... Oh, God, she's so annoying and awful. Ugh. It's wild that I watch Tucker Carlson and then think like someone other than Tucker Carlson is worse than Tucker Carlson in a frame where that person is next to Tucker Carlson and she was able to do that. Congratulations to Amy Wax for straight up coming off worse than America's #1 WASP nationalist propagandist.